Hey everybody, it's Dave Dugdale, learningvideo.com. This is, I'd say, the third update on my A6500 IBIS issue that I'm having. Basically, the issue is I would pan across and then I would start to tilt up. And as you can see in this example, when I pan and then I tilt up, it creates this, oh my gosh, vibration, vomit-inducing kind of vibrations that you just don't want to have happen. You don't want to add vibrations, you want to get rid of vibrations when you use IBIS or Steadyshot. So let me tell you the story. This is kind of interesting, and it's maybe things are kind of making sense. Well, it's fixed. Let me tell you what happened. Or it's mostly fixed. I'd say 95% fixed. So when I went to NAB on my United flight, I took my RX100 Mark V, put it in my jacket pocket because I just love having it with me all the time. And then I brought this camera because when my Sony contact said, yeah, bring the camera to the booth and we'll have the engineers check it out. Maybe we'll keep it for a couple of weeks and we'll send it back to you and see what we can find out what's going on with your camera. Because the previous first and second update that I did on this issue, I'd say about maybe 3 dozen, maybe 4 dozen people chimed in and said, yeah, I've got the same issue, what's going on? So it sounded like my contact at Sony, you know, he doesn't work with the support team that much, but he was kind of looking into it and trying to find out what's going on. So he was willing to help, which is great. So I put it in my luggage. I go to the airport, I go up to the gate, and sure enough, the reason I packed it so well is that just the off chance that the flight attendant or ground crew will say something like, sorry, we got to check your bag, there's no overhead space. And sure enough, that happened. I was like, sure, no problem, I packed it well. So they put it in the bottom of the plane, and I get to the hotel, everything's fine, I took it out, looked fine or whatever, and then I was gonna, that next morning, head to the Sony booth, and so I ran a few tests, and as you can see here, I'm kind of panning up into the sky over and over again, trying to get it to work, and not work, but actually cause vibrations, and it wasn't causing vibrations. It seemed like it was fixed. It was really odd. I was like, well, wait a minute, I could get this to do it almost on every single pan, and now it's not doing it all. What's going on here? And the only thing I can figure is if I remember correctly, last time I cleaned one of these sensors that have IBIS on them, the sensor is always loose when the power is turned off. There's no voltage going to the sensor. It's not locked in place when it's turned off. And so it kind of moves all the time. The best thing I can think of is the baggage handler just threw my luggage across onto the carousel or whatever really hard, and it jostled it in such a way where it fixed the problem. Now, let's rewind the story a little bit, because there's more to this story that I'm just now thinking about and remembering. When I got this camera from B&H, usually B&H has been exceptionally great at packaging stuff up and sending it to me. Now, it was really weird. I even contacted my rep on this one. It was the first time it ever happened. I get a lot of equipment in from B&H. Usually their shipping department does a great job, but they came in the box. It's got a very small box to the A6500, and normally they pack it with these like air cushion type things inside the box. Well, this time there was no air cushiony things, and it was just the box inside the box was just rattling around. When I got it, I was like, this is not cool. And when I first got the camera, it seemed fine. I was like, didn't think too much about it. But now I'm thinking about it now. What if it wasn't packaged that well from B&H and it bumped it in such a way where it got it to where it sticks on a certain maybe Z-axis on the IBIS, and maybe this jostle that happened when I was on the plane flight, it got jostled back to where it was supposed to be, where it doesn't have this issue. I don't know. It's just something I'm thinking about. But as you can see here, that morning I did it probably, I would say 40-50 pans that morning. Now I will say, out of those maybe 40 or 50 pans that I did that morning, there was 2 instances where it did happen, but in a very minor way, not in that kind of very constant vibration issue that you see here. But as you can see, when I pan up and tilt up, you can see it kind of glitches. So I was like, should I go to the Sony booth, give them my camera, and they'll have it for a couple of weeks. I probably won't be able to get to use it. And now it seems to be working fine, I'd say 95% of the time. And that's basically what I did. And I know this is probably not the best answer for you guys, but if you want to fix, maybe take your camera, put it in your suitcase, throw it across the room a few times with them clothes in it, and see if it fixes the problem. Okay, I'm not saying you should do that, but it worked for me, and it's now working just fine. So I guess when I pack this now, I'll be very gentle with it and make sure it's, you know, always in my backpack and it doesn't get back into that position where it was before, if that is actually the issue. So I just thought to give you an update. I decided to not give it to Sony because I have a feeling the engineers would go, yeah, it works fine, what's the problem, you know? And this doesn't happen on the A7R2 that I have, and it doesn't happen on the A7S2 that I had, and those worked fine. So I have a feeling it's more of an issue maybe with the smaller sensor size. So that's pretty much it. It's the update. It's probably not the best answer you were looking for, but I guess it's working for me now. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.